Welcome to Hot Flash Chronicles, where midlife is messy, menopause is madness, and we're sweating through it together.
We're Angie and Shelly, two caffeine-fueled, slightly inappropriate grandmas who say what everyone's thinking.
So grab a drink, crank up the AC, and let's dive in. Angie?
Yes?
It's time again for another new podcast.
Woohoo! I can't wait.
I know. It's always so exciting.
It's my favorite part of the week.
This episode is going to be really good because...
Aren't they all?
I mean, we do say so ourselves.
We're great. Just ask us.
Just ask. This one is going to be, I think it could be kind of an important one. It can still be fun and all that, but I think it's something that women really need to hear. And it's because it's about body acceptance. I know, we love that.
It's my jam.
And body positivity.
Yes.
So I think that this is something I know I wish it would have been way more prevalent when I was younger.
100% agree.
So I'm glad that it is a subject that's out there now.
Do you think that it was just that we weren't in the age to where we needed to know that we needed body positivity, or is it just a new revolution happening?
You know, I think it is. I feel like it is a new thing that's kind of been happening because I feel like up until recent history, women have carried a lot of responsibility in how they look and how they carry themselves and what they weigh. I mean, honestly, I think a lot of women had a lot of their self-worth and their kind of own identity wrapped up into what they looked like. And I think that the new part of that is that it's okay to be proud of your body.
Right.
It's okay to have that be a part of your identity, but we don't have to fit it into what society and what marketing say is the, perfect.
Who gets to decide what the perfect body is?
I don't know.
Who is they? They say
I know who is that. And I do
fuck
think
that's what I think.
I think for a long time it was marketing and advertising. They were creating a perfect woman to represent these different brands.
Yeah, according to who? I think the beautiful thing about our species and about our gender is the diversity. Yeah. Like if we all had this quote unquote perfect body, perfect size, perfect curves, perfect whatever, there would be nothing differentiating ourselves. So my mentor Sue taught me years ago, your weight is the least interesting fact about you.
Yeah. And it should be. Like, it's not great if that is the thing that people remember about you, because that's just such a small part of who we are.
Right. Like I'm an overweight woman and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like if you don't like it, it says way more about you.
Yeah. I'm an overweight woman too. And I've been more overweight. Like that's the thing. Women's bodies change. They change constantly. We're in change. They change every decade. They change with every child that we have. They change with different things that we're going through in our lives.
Injuries that we have. Like I had my car accident, health issues. Like before they got a hold on my autoimmune disorder, I was on steroids for 3.5 years straight.
Yeah.
That will mess with your body in ways that
there's so many
shouldn't
things.
Be legal.
Like bodies, that's why they can grow and shrink and why they do all the things that they do is we go through different things. And it's great that our bodies are able to snap back or snap out or, it's that we need that flexibility. But sometimes when those changes happen, we don't feel good about them.
Right. We put a lot of energy into what our meat suit looks like. And it's not taking a lot of who our character is, or I don't feel like I'm not as beautiful as somebody else because I'm overweight.
Yeah.
Like we should have a stronger sense of self-assuredness and self-value than what we are pitched to have. And I, in the last few years, have become more comfortable in my skin and less apologetic about who I am. And I'm really celebrating every roll and ripple and divot and all of the things, because it means that I've lived a good life and I've been through some hard things. I've been 100 pounds heavier than I am now. I had less ability at that point. And that's why I am more like, if I'm going to lose weight or focus on that, it's because I want to have different capabilities. It's not because I want to look a certain way, because I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Like that, to me, it's about, and I think there is a change that happens when you're a woman as you get older and you've been through some of these life experiences. I think you kind of arrive at this place where you're like, okay, this is now about what I'm able to do, how I feel, how much pain I'm having or not having, and how much energy I have.
Right.
Can I do the things that I want to do? And it's kind of exciting and liberating to be at a place in your life where that's what drives it, not how old do I look, how fat do I look, what size am I,
how does my skin look, how's my like it doesn't matter. No,
none of that. It's like I almost wish we could split who we are into two different compartments, which is, here is all of the stuff that you are. This is the essence of you over here. And this is your personality, your love of life, your passions. This is your creativity. This is your sense of humor. These are all the things that make you you. And over here is your meat suit. And it really is just protecting and covering all of this.
And if you're going to judge everything that I have on the inside, like all of my character, all of my wonderful traits that I have, all of the things that I'm capable of doing, and the fun that I can have, and what I can bring into your life to nourish and enrich it, if you're going to base it on what size I am, then you can kick rocks and keep moving, because there are going to be people that appreciate it, and there will be people that don't. And I just have chosen not to care
about the people who don't.
I just don't. It's like, it says more about you than it does about me.
I think another aspect of this is, back in the day, I remember I've always been chubbier or more on the plus side, even when I was a teenager. So I remember, I know when I was in high school back in the 1980s, I know that there were guys who liked me, but they wouldn't pursue it because I was a bigger girl. And that was the only reason why, because there was a stigma to be a chubby chaser. If you were a guy and you liked bigger girls.
Do you guys know that's a thing on dating? It's called chubby chasers, guys that intentionally seek.
Like, plus they're attracted. Now, and here's the whole thing. There was a lot of guys hiding that, which means there have always been a lot of guys who liked it and accepted it and were for it. It's just that they had to be kind of quiet about it because they were judged. If they were a chubby, doesn't that sound like a judgment, calling you
sure does
a chubby chaser? So guys had to endure that too. And women are often judgmental about other women. And I know when I would get in an argument or a fight with another girl, the first thing they would bring up to cut me down would be my weight.
Right.
It's like, it's an easy target.
Going for the jugular.
Go for the jugular and just tell them they're a fatty. And it's like when you've lived that experience and you get older and you can let go of that, it is so liberating and freeing. And I wish to all of you who have ever felt that you were unattractive because of what you looked like or what you weighed, I wish you that freedom, because once you do that, it's a game changer for everything else in your life.
And if you look at me and you're worried about my level of attractiveness or my worth as a human being because of the number that shows up when I stand on a scale, you might want to dig into why you're feeling that way. Why do you feel so uncomfortable with my weight, my life, my visual, whatever? So a few years ago, I have a mentor in body positivity. Her name's Terry Hofford. She's incredible. Go find her. Teri Hofford. She's incredible. She has body positivity. She does a body image boot camp. She's a photographer that uses her lens to empower people in the bodies that they're currently in. And she had said that she needed models for a workshop that she was doing in Italy. And I was joking, like, well, if you want a plus size blue-haired grandma, give me a call. Like, obviously you're not going to want that. And she was like, oh, absolutely, I would love that. And I was like, what? And it was like deer in headlights. And then Angie gets real uncomfortable. And
what did I do?
Right. So then she had me kind of dig into those squidgy places. She uses the word squidge for those, like, she has a podcast called The Squidge that is amazing. Go check Terry out. But she challenged me because she was like, well, it's a boudoir workshop. How do we feel about this? Fast forward, I wound up posing nude in a castle in Italy for a bunch of photographers right before I turned 50.
It's not a bad place to do it.
It's not a bad place to do it.
Yeah.
I felt all sorts of squidgy. Now, fast forward a couple years, I'm at the point where I went to a party last week where I was wearing a completely see-through shirt. I'm like, if you don't like it, like if I'm too much, go find less. Like
there's a lot less
whole
out
thing.
there.
And right. And I modeled in Vegas for a Boudoir photo walk for a wonderful photographer named Ann Landstrom. She was photographing people over 50, like showing that we're an underrepresented age group in.
Let's start representing us over 50.
I know. So the fact that I think that was my 4th time modeling for like a really good photographer, it's like, wait, why have I felt like, well, nobody's going to want the plus size blue haired grandma on their portfolio. Why not?
I think this is a time where everybody should really celebrate wherever they're at on this journey.
Yeah.
Whether you're 20 years old or you're 60 years old, whether you're an ideal BMI and body weight, whatever that is, you're plus size, not all of us have perfect skin. Not all of us have perfect hair.
It doesn't matter.
None of it matters. Yeah. It's about liking and embracing whoever you are.
Mm-hmm.
There is something about taking control of how you brand yourself, is what I would call it. That owning who you are 100% is confidence. And I will tell you that confidence is the thing that people are actually attracted to. We think it's when people look perfect. It's not. It's when someone unapologetically owns who they are. We admire that. Like
100%.
We like that. And I know in my lifetime, I think a lot of people have been attracted to me, not anything because of how I look. But
I'm attracted to you every day.
Well, thank you. Well, likewise.
Thanks.
But, be each other's fan clubs, lady. Be each other's
It's
fan
okay
girls.
to build each other up and say nice things.
Yeah. But it's like when you do that, when you come to that point of being like, I'm really proud of who I am. I'm proud of all these things I've accomplished in my life. I'm proud that I don't let things like a cesarean scar ruin my, attempts at going out in a bathing suit. There's people that won't do things because they have cellulite, or they won't do something because they have acne scars,
right?
Or they won't do, it can be all these physical things that honestly, there's a point where you just don't have control over that.
I can tell you as a photographer, everybody has physical insecurities. Everybody has a perceived flaw that they want to hide. Mm-hmm. And it breaks my heart when people come into my studio and they're like, can you Photoshop this? Can you edit this? And blah, blah, blah. It's like, sure, but how about we just like step into who you are right now? And I show you that right now is beautiful, that you don't need to lose 20 pounds before you book me. And when we can sit in that self-love and acceptance, like Shelly is a much more put together human than I am. Like she's always like done to the nines, and like she's always very like like put together, right?
I like that. That's a nice compliment.
Equally as beautiful in a very different way. I'm more of a raw, take it or leave it. Like I always thought that I got by on my personality until I saw my images of modeling. And I was like, whoa, I am beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's okay to say. I give you permission to say nice things
Christina
about yourself.
Aguilera made a whole song about it. You can feel beautiful.
We sang that in a quartet together.
We did.
We did.
And it's like, just embrace that person that you are. That's what's attractive about you. It's all those things that go into it. And when that confidence comes out, it shines. And when you capture images of that, that's where you see people's beauty. Somebody I really, really like and think is so beautiful is Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen her lately?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jamie Lee Curtis has totally embraced aging, and she is age positive. She's just human positive, but she has gray hair now. She is not doing any kind of cosmetic procedures. And she looks her age. She's in her 60s. She looks like she's in her 60s. She is a little heavier than she used to be, but she's still in fantastic shape. You can tell she's a healthy person.
Her meat suit doesn't matter. She's stunning.
She's healthy emotionally.
Yeah.
She's healthy in the way she sees the world and how she sees herself. And I just really admire her. I admire Helen Mirren, a British actress who you all know. And I also very much admire her, but also
Pamela Anderson too.
Yeah, she started.
She's
not
been
wearing
doing
any
like,
makeup at
yeah,
all.
she's like, which is just like I'm allergic to makeup. I've talked about this in other episodes.
Yeah.
I can't wear a lot of makeup, so it makes me feel less put together than Shelly looks, but it doesn't mean I'm any less beautiful.
Well, and a lot of these celebrities and people who now have like Instagrams and TikToks and doing social media, they'll have a lot of shots of them where they're dressed down and just looking like we all do and being very relatable. And it's like, my gosh, she looks like me. But when she puts on all the makeup and they put her under the lights and do all the photoshopping, she looks like this glamorous person, but she is just like me.
Yeah.
Amy Schumer did a show.
Oh,
with
I
her
love
husband,
Amy Schumer. The one where she was learning to cook and she like
Schumer
stole vegetables out of somebody's garden during COVID. Oh, they were so great.
But she's dressed down and she looks very dressed down and normal in tons of her stuff. And then she gets all made up to the dressed to the nines and looks amazing. But I like that people who are seen as being celebrities are now feeling comfortable with, well, here's just me, and making all of us people
and
feel
just
like,
me
just me is great.
More than enough.
Yeah, it's fine.
Like I recently got one of my mentor's favorite phrases tattooed on me. It says, "Good enough for who?" Like we all strive to be good enough. Like who is the person that says like, ding, you're good enough? Good enough for who?
Right.
If you're good enough for you, that's all that matters.
That's
like I'm good enough for me. I could give fuck all what anybody else thinks of me. My husband loves me. He thinks I'm beautiful. That's all that matters. Other people, it's just like a little cherry on top. It's fine. Like there's nothing that this gal could do that would make me think she wasn't gorgeous. I've seen her not done up. We've seen each other at multiple weights over the years.
Yeah.
Like she's seen me at my heaviest. I've seen her at her heaviest.
Yeah.
I have never once looked at an image of Shelly and thought that she was anything less than stunning. And that speaks to her confidence, her character, the light in her eyes, her magnetism, but she's also got a beautiful meat suit.
Yeah.
Right?
But you know what? Have people like this in your life to remind you. Like women, sometimes I think there's a natural competitive nature between women and kind
women
of
are real hard on each other.
Judgmental thing. And you'll see that come out in people a lot when they don't feel great about themselves, when they're not secure in who they are, when they don't have a good self-esteem, when they don't have a good self-image. Those are the women that feel a little bit threatened by other women and sometimes can be judgmental or put those feelings out that make you feel like you're being judged. And it's understandable that that happens to us, but please be the woman who fixes the other person's crown.
Yes.
Be a woman. It is so important for women to have women friends who build them up and support them, because we all have low times. We all have times where we're not feeling ourselves, where our confidence gets a little shaken. And when you have a cheerleader or a fangirl in your court, it means so much more to me when a woman gives me a compliment than when a man does. It's so weird.
And we hold a lot of power in our words. And I remember one of the times I was modeling, it was at a convention last year, and there was a lady who was intentionally trying to cut me down. And I'm usually real good at deflecting that and setting boundaries. But she said she wanted to use the photo booth I was in. And I said I was modeling, and she said, nobody's lining up to photograph you. And that hurt. That stung
so nasty,
so hard. And I went completely primitive, like I withered. And I walked away just like, she's right. And I owned all of that, and it made me sick. But again, that says so much more about her than it does about me.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with me.
No.
She was trying to win the conversation. And that's why I said at the beginning of this, like, if you don't find me attractive, or you think like, oh, I'm worried about her weight or whatever, I don't care. I literally don't care. If you're worried about my stomach, it says more about you.
Yeah.
And I really do believe that in my core.
Yeah.
And I think that if we can say nice things to each other and look at each other through eyes of love, that's how we're going to combat this, what they think we're supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Because as long as we're fixing each other's crowns, as you said, which I love that, then if you can find nice things to say say them. Like, why would you hold that back? If I'm sitting here thinking Shelly looks cute as fuck right now, why wouldn't I tell her that?
Yeah, like
Because
don't
she
be
wants
afraid.
to hear it.
Everybody loves to hear that
Yeah,
stuff.
and do you
Nobody's
know
ever going to say, no, don't.
Do you know
no.
how often I hear like, oh my gosh, you just made my week? And I'm like, are people not out here talking to each other like this?
Yeah.
Why not? Or I hear like, Angie, you're always so encouraging. It's like, I'm just speaking my truth out here.
Yeah.
I'm just loving on people. Like, I see the good in people.
So when you meet those people who are negative like that, who are saying those things, there's a part of you, instead of internalizing it and thinking they're speaking a truth, they're not. They're not. What they're doing is they're feeding their own problems or lack
Monster.
of
They have a
self.
monster.
They have a monster. And when they say things like that, they are trying to build themselves up by stepping on you and pushing you down to get them higher.
Not today, Satan.
And you just, you don't have to play. You know what? Just because you're invited to the party, you don't have to go. And,
I love that.
And that's the thing is you get the invitation to the party, you can decline. And when people say things like that, instead of thinking, oh my God, what they just said is true, think, wow, that person is in an awfully bad space to where their self-confidence is so low that they have to put me, a complete stranger, down to function. So it is a them problem. It is not you. And you let that roll off.
Yeah.
Just,
it's
them.
hard. It's a learned skill.
Yeah,
to not take it personally and not digest it as truth. But my mom always says, like, is it true? Is it right? Is it like, you have to really benchmark it against, like, do I know this to be a truth? Mm-hmm. It's not a truth. Yeah. Like, that wasn't true. No. But I internalized it as truth because she hit me right in the squidgy spot and she knew it. She came at me intentionally trying to hurt me, and it worked.
Hey, if somebody is overweight, if you look at somebody and you don't know them very well, the only thing you can do is
she knew me though.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't like
this is like
already.
She like knocked my crown straight off my head.
Yeah. Well, she's probably jealous. I mean, you might be doing better in the world than she is.
It's whatever. Like, she was going through her own thing. Now I get that. But then I was like, I crumbled. Yeah. And ironically, Terry was 20 steps away. And I went and literally just crumbled. And she was like, oh, nay. Nope, this isn't true. No. We're not going down this road. You know better.
You can't, like, when you're giving people power, when you have that response, and sometimes we can't help it, because those people who are just looking at you and saying, oh, that's a plus size woman, I can tell her she's fat. And if I do that, I can own anything I want, any response, they'll pick on an obvious thing because we know that hurts us.
Right.
So the thing that will surprise them is when it doesn't hurt you.
Right.
And when you stand your ground and say, no, actually, there are plenty of people that are going to be here to take my picture. I've done this before. You know that.
Or if you say, one interesting thing to say.
Yeah. Huh.
That's an interesting.
That's very interesting.
Did you
I wonder
mean to say
why
it like
you would
that?
say that. I wonder what that says about you.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't crumple. And the thing is if you felt those things about yourself, which we all have.
Sure.
We've all felt our weaknesses, whatever they are. Nobody knows you or your weaknesses better than you. You know them all. Other people might know some of them, and they might try to manipulate you by tapping into something.
Going right for the jugular.
That they think is going to get you. And as women, what we have to do is own your character, be prideful in who you are and who you know you are, and stand your ground and recognize when people are doing that, it really has nothing to do with you. This is them grasping for straws, trying to do something that is honestly wrong.
Yeah.
And don't participate. Like, don't accept that invitation. You don't have to. Give yourself that ability to make that boundary.
I totally agree. And sitting in your own confidence, like you said, that confidence is the thing that's most attractive. Mm-hmm. If you think in your mind, like, if you see an image of a person, like you just see a picture, and then you meet them, if they're like really attractive in the photo and you meet them and they're kind of a piece of garbage, their attractiveness goes right down the stinker. It's, you can go from a 10 to a 5 real quick if you have a shitty personality. But if you see somebody who's like, oh yeah, that's a good looking dude. Like he's all right. Yeah. But you meet him and he's like oozing charisma authentically. Yeah. That is the person that's going to like catch your attention. Like, I would much rather have the person that's charismatic
Yeah.
and confident, not cocky, but cocky's okay too.
Well, I think
When
when
did
you
it
think
stop being
about,
okay to say nice things about ourselves?
I
Why
don't
is
know.
that not okay? Be cocky.
There's a difference between being self-aware and owning who you are is different than being like a narcissist.
Right.
There's levels of just acknowledging, oh, I know I'm good at this. I know I have this kind of personality. I know I'm fairly intelligent. I'm well spoken. You can do all those things and they can be real. They can be true. It isn't necessarily like you being conceited or narcissistic. It's just like these are things that are true about you.
I think when I say cocky, I mean like a like a you wish.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, you wish.
And that's
like that's what I don't like.
I think
maybe it's because then it's like, what do you mean I wish? Like,
yeah, I think cockiness.
You wish, buddy.
Cockiness can be good and it can be bad. There are also levels of that. Sometimes I kind of like somebody who's being cocky because they're inviting you in on the game. You know, they're
Well,
saying,
it's a cat and mouse, right?
Yeah.
It's different than if they're actually like,
yes, when they're
like
deep,
no, if they're
conceited
like,
and self-absorbed is way different and not attractive.
I'm self-absorbed in a great and healthy way.
Yeah, like there are balances to all of that.
For sure.
But I think if you think about some male celebrities and some guys that are very successful and considered to be attractive, we give men a lot more credit for like being funny and their personalities. If you remember a lot of the sitcoms in the 80s and 90s, King of Queens and some of those where it's kind of a bigger, dumpier kind of guy, but he's always got a hot wife. Everybody loves Raymond. Like always the wife is like a top dollar. She's
top dollar.
She's a hottie, and he's kind of this whatever. But there's something lovable about his personality, or he's funny, or he makes them laugh, or so it's like men have had that card for a long time. Like where we gave them extra street cred because they were charming and funny, and they made us laugh. Women love to laugh, and a lot of men like to have a piece of eye candy. Yeah.
So if I think back to 80s, 90s, early 2000s, like actors that personify what I'm talking about as far as like decent looking but has personality in spades, Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
You look at a picture like when he was in Encino Man or George of the Jungle, all those, right? He was like one of my big old celebrity crushes back in the day.
Yeah.
But if you were to just look at an image of him, it doesn't emulate his twinkle that he has. Like he has that star quality that's magnetic and like he has a real charisma about him. The Riz, as the current kids are saying, I think. But Brendan Fraser, I think, is a perfect example of good looking dude, very attractive human.
Well, Paul Rudd.
Right?
I would use Paul Rudd, who is a good looking guy. But would you say, if you just saw a picture of him, I feel like Paul Rudd is somebody who could live in my neighborhood. Like, he is a handsome man, but of average handsomeness. But when you see him in interviews, he's witty, he's very smart. He's on my list. If you do the celebrity crushes, Paul Rudd.
Go listen to our celebrity crushes.
Yeah, listen to that episode. But there is something about him that he's just unapologetically this nice, funny, smart, witty dude. And then, but when I think of him, he's just so attractive. And it's all of those elements together. So women, we need to start recognizing the whole makeup, not just what we look like, what our bodies look like, how much cellulite we have, how many rolls we have. No, like that is not your bargaining chips. This whole makeup of everything, when you add all those things together, make us attractive. And start looking at that as part of your body acceptance or your body positivity, is your body is more than your body. Embodiment. It's the embodiment of everything about you that makes you you.
I love that.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, really be an advocate for your friends, be an advocate for yourself. You are good enough, because good enough for who? It should be you. Yeah. You should be good enough for yourself. This comparison is the thief of joy.
I love that saying. So, it's so true.
Should we end with a couple rapid fire questions?
Yes.
As a wrap?
Yes.
Okay, you go first.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So rapid fire is where I just think of something off the top of my head.
Neither of us knows what's about to happen.
No, we don't. So I'm going to see if I can think of something really quick. Okay. Angie.
Yes.
If you had a superpower.
Oh.
What would it be?
transporting Jason Momoa to me any time of day.
That is solid. And it didn't take you very long.
That did not take me very long.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Teleporting Jason Momoa.
Okay. Okay, here's another one. If you could choose between a grilled cheese sandwich or a filet mignon, which would you pick?
Ooh, I'm going to go grilled cheese sandwich. I love a grilled cheese sandwich.
Me too.
Okay. Shelly.
Oh God, I start screaming.
No yelling, Betty Rubble. Okay. If you were a candy, which one would you be?
I'd be what is it? I'm trying to think of the name. It's a candy bar. I really like it. It's got toffee in it.
Is it a whatchamacallit? I'm kidding.
No, it's not a whatchamacallit. What is it?
Score?
Score. Yes, that's the one. There's
Score.
toffee on the inside and there.
What would make you a Score bar?
Because they look unassuming. You think, oh, it's just this thing of chocolate, but there is a surprise.
Ooh,
I
do love a
lush,
surprise.
Buttery yumminess.
If you had the perfect bowl of cereal, and you lifted the spoon to your mouth, how many pieces of cereal would be in the spoon?
I think there's about 15 because it's peanut butter Captain Crunch.
Okay.
And I have a big spoon when I eat that.
I love it. So thank you guys so much for being here. Tune in for the next episode, and we will see you on the flip side.
Bye. That's a wrap on this episode. If you laughed, related, or just need more, hit subscribe.
Check out the show notes to find us on socials and YouTube, and join our Patreon for exclusive extras.
And remember,
we're still hot, just in flashes.